Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Sunday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and this podcast is being brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. No good on a Saturday. I got crushed. The official plays only went 0-3, but I got a little lucky with a couple of live bets, but overall it was a very bad Saturday for me and overall for the podcast. The trends were not my friends here on a Saturday. Ole Miss outright. Bye-bye. I mean, talk about upset Saturday. We talked about it on the live stream on the Discord chat on Saturday morning about how it felt like this could be a crazy weekend where chaos reeks and comes running through the college football playoff. Ole Miss outright lost. Alabama outright lost. Couple of scares. Penn State got scared. Boise State got scared. But Ole Miss, man, I thought they'd make a pretty impressive statement there on the road against Florida. That's 4 straight wins and 4 straight covers at home for Billy Napier's club. Pretty darn impressive. Congrats to the Gators. BYU had a shot at covering. They missed a couple of 2-point conversions, which kind of stunk. They could have won the game outright. Cal came all the way back down 21-7 in the third quarter. They won the game, but they did not cover the 14-point line that we laid. So unfortunately, an 0-3 day, down 3.4 units. And that puts us in kind of a predicament here. We need to have a winning Sunday to have a winning week. Comes down to this a lot, where the Sunday card tends to dictate, but in November in the NFL, tough, okay? Tough. I've got the player props coming at you. Terrell and I will be live on the YouTube channel for Betting Pros at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time for about 45 minutes leading up to kickoff of the early games. We'll break down every game on Sunday, both early and late, give you picks, plays, and props all coming at you on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Looking forward to seeing you all being a part of that. If you haven't watched that before, highly recommend that you guys do so. We may find a Wong teaser. We may run into one. I don't think I will, but we might. I don't know. We've kind of given up on Wong teasers this year, just given the formula not working as well as it should have, but maybe we find one. 4 player props coming at you for sure, though, on the live stream happening at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. This podcast is being brought to you by our friends at DraftKings and the DraftKings Pick Six, which you can play right now here on a Sunday. You play $5 for new players. You get $50 instantly in Pick Six credits when you use the code JUICE at sign-up. It's a good time to do it here on a Sunday. If you haven't checked it out before, why not go and check it out now and see what you can do with the DraftKings Pick Six? Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. 18 plus in most eligible jurisdictions, but age and other eligibility restrictions may vary. Valid only in jurisdictions where DraftKings Pick Six operates. Pick Six not available everywhere, including but not limited to New York and California and Ontario, Canada. Void where prohibited. Pick Six credits are $5 in the first pick set to receive $50 issued as non-withdrawable Pick Six credits that expire in 30 days. For more information and terms, log on to picksix.draftkings.com/promos. Okay, let's start in the NFL and one bet on the early games. Minnesota is at Chicago. The number opened at 4.5. It is now 3.5 here. The Vikings are 4-2. ATS on the road. This is the 3rd consecutive road game for Minnesota. The Bears are 4-1 at home this year. This is their 3rd consecutive home game. This is a rare situation where you see one team on the road 3 straight games and one team at home for 3 straight games. We normally always pick the team that is playing at home on their 3rd straight game, and this time we get a plus 3.5 number. Last time out against Green Bay, the blocked field goal for the Bears. They should have won the game. Green Bay got lucky. Time before that, the Patriots went into Chicago and beat them up pretty good. 4 straight losses for Chicago. Eberflus coaching for his job. A lot of turmoil going on in Chicago for this football game. The Vikings are 7-3 ATS on the year. The Vikings have won 3 straight games. They beat Indianapolis at home, Jacksonville on the road by 5, and Tennessee on the road by 10. They have covered 2 of their last 3 football games. When you look at the trends going into this game between these two big rivals, it has been a smart move to fade the Bears, generally speaking, when it comes to playing the Vikings. The Vikings have won and covered 4 straight road games in Chicago since the start of the 2020 season, that according to the Action Network. That's the best road mark against the spread in Chicago since 1965 for the Vikings. Minnesota was 3-16 straight up and 4-14-1 in Chicago in their previous 19 trips before these last 4. But the Bears are at home. The Bears have played really poorly on the road, but the Bears haven't been awful at home. Matt Eberflus needs a win, okay? He's not been good against teams who are over 500 straight up. With the Bears, he's 2-14 straight up, okay? That is not good, but one of those wins were against the Vikings last year. Vikings have had some trouble winning games at times. Historically, though, the Bears have been a fade. I'll give it to you on that. In divisional matchups over the past few years, 9-21-1 ATS against the Lions, Packers, and Vikings since 2019. That is not good at all. But, again, 3 straight road games. I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm going to think Caleb Williams can avoid the blitz. I'm going to think this team is desperate to get a W. I'll take the 3.5. The hook matters here to me. In a divisional game, home dogs, road favorites in the NFL in divisional games, don't like to take it, even with the Bears stinking as much as they have this year. I'll take Chicago plus 3.5. They should have beaten the Packers last week. Maybe they'll beat the Vikings this week and get it done and not have blocked kicks and choke on games that they should win. Let's see what happens with the Bears here, but I'm taking the Bears at plus 3.5 for 1.1 units. Bet number 2, okay? Let's talk about, let's see. Sorry, we're going, Arizona at Seattle. Number is 1 or a pick. Arizona on the road, 3-1 ATS this year. Seattle at home, 1-5 ATS this year. 1-5. That has to change. They won at San Francisco last week, okay? Big win. Big moment in the season. Big win for Geno. It hurt us. I was on the Niners. Geno rallied. Geno got a win. I think Geno can do this again here in back-to-back games. I think Seattle has an opportunity here to win the game outright and cover. It's only 1. I got it at pick, either or. I don't think either bet's going to really, I think if we win this, I don't think it's going to come into play here with a pick. But on the road, the Cardinals, they've covered 3 straight games against the NFC West. Prior to that streak, they were 1-13 ATS in the previous 14 games. This has been a little bit of a shocker, to be quite honest. The Cardinals have played this well. Seattle, since 2018, coming off a straight-up win on the road as a dog when they play a divisional opponent the week before, are winning 60% and covering 60% of their games in the next game. Kyler Murray has started 5 games after a bye during the season. After the bye, he's 1-4 straight up and 1-4 ATS in that game, failing to cover by 9.1 points per game. The only time they covered after being on a bye was in Chicago of 2021. Hasn't happened all that often. Kyler Murray has started 14 games where his team was on extended rest. He's 5-9 ATS in those games. Seattle's at home. Seattle has struggled at home this year, 1-5, but this is tough, okay? This is a hard place to play. Geno Smith is 3-10 at home since the beginning of last year. That has to change. Straight up, that has to change against the Cardinals here today. I'm taking Seattle, even with those numbers being a bit scary. I'll take Seattle on a pick just to win the game here. 1.5, fine, but just a pick. Seattle to win the game against the Cardinals coming off of a bye. Bet number 3. Let's talk Philadelphia at the Rams. Philly, 5-1 ATS on the road this year. The Rams are 2-3 against the number at home this year. The Rams went to New England and won, but they went cross-country. They were home from Miami, crossed the country to New England, now coming back home here against Philadelphia. The Eagles have won and covered 4 of their last 5 games. They beat Washington by 8 and covered. They beat Dallas by 28 on the road and covered. They didn't cover against Jacksonville, but they won the game by 5 as 7.5-point favorites. And they beat Cincinnati by 20 as 3-point dogs. They beat the Giants on the road as 3-point favorites by 25. They beat Cleveland laying 9. They won by 4. They've won straight up 6 straight games. They're 6-4 overall. They're 3-0 against their division, but they're 5-2 against the NFC so far this season, ATS. The Rams are 3-4 against the NFC ATS. They did beat Seattle on the road in the last time they played an NFC team. They beat Minnesota at home as 2.5-point dogs. They won that game by 10. Beat the Raiders by 5 as 7-point favorites at home. But I think this Eagles team might be the best team in football. I know everyone says the Lions. I don't think they're that far away. If you want to bet the under in this game, it's not a horrible play, okay? Sunday Night Football under since 2022 are hitting at a 67% clip. That's incredible. 34-13 during the regular season as well. That's just nuts. But A.J. Brown's playing in this game for the Eagles. And when A.J. Brown is playing, the Eagles have seen him play in 7 games. They are 7-0 in the games in which A.J. Brown has played. They've averaged 30 points per game when he's playing, just 17.3 points per game when he is not playing. Saquon Barkley is going to be a really big problem, I think, for this Rams team to stop. Jalen Hurts has not been great on the road laying points since 2024. Since starting in 2024, he's 6-14-1 ATS as a favorite away from home. That is awful. In 2024, however, he is 3-1 ATS on a road or a neutral, scoring 28 points in 3 of those 4 games, which is just tremendous. Eagles have a chance here to come down the stretch run. I'm just not a huge favorite, a huge fan of Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford here. I was on the Patriots last week. That burned me. They're 6-14 straight up as underdogs here when McVay and Stafford are dogs. You know, Sean McVay coaching at night is 20-17-2 ATS. On short rest, he's 7-3 ATS, but when it's normal or extended rest, 10-12-2 ATS like they are here. I like the Eagles. Give me Philadelphia. I'll lay the 3 points on Sunday night. Like the under, too. Philadelphia -3 for 1.1 units. And my teaser here for this, the Miami Dolphins have just owned the Patriots. Okay? The number is 7. The Dolphins have covered the spread in 8 straight games against the Patriots dating back to December of 2020. At home, Miami's won 4 straight games at home and covered 4 straight times. That's their longest streak since the 90s. Since Tom Brady is retired, this has just not been great for the Patriots taking on teams like Buffalo and the Dolphins. They own the Jets, but teams not named the Jets. Look, Drake May very well might be, the solution for the Patriots, but the Dolphins scored 35 points last week against the Raiders. I just don't think Drake May is going to score enough against this Dolphins defense. I think they're going to blitz him like crazy here. The game is in November, so the weather will be nice. Since 2021, Dolphins are 5-17 straight up against teams above 500, but they're 21-10 straight up against teams below 500. Tua is 21-8 against teams below 500, including 13-7 ATS at home. Take the Dolphins from 7 down to -1. And I'm going to pair it up with San Francisco and the Green Bay Packers, who are laying 6 points at home. The quarterback swap is why this happened. Green Bay is just 2-3 at home ATS. They haven't covered in 4 straight games. They did win 3 of those 4 games, but I'm just going to pull it down to a money line play for Green Bay here up against San Francisco, who's 1-3 on the road. Brandon Allen's going to play quarterback for them. Yes, George Kittle's coming back, but this is just too much to ask, in my opinion, of a San Francisco team that's been completely underachieving this year. They very well may cover the 6 here, but Green Bay just to win, I'll pull it down. Green Bay pick Dolphins -1 for 1.2 units. Okay, so the plays for today: Bears +3.5, Seattle pick, Eagles -3. Teaser is Dolphins -1, Green Bay Packers on a pick here for us here today up against the San Francisco 49ers. 4 player props coming at you with Terrell and myself at noon Eastern time on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Looking forward to seeing all of you coming up later on today. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. Every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast presented by DraftKings.